Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Blevin Robinson with West Coast Cajun Cuisine. In today's video, vegetable purees. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here and you're interested in learning how to cook authentic Cajun cuisine, comfort food, and just about anything for that matter, then you've come to the right place. Click that subscription button and that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a couple of vegetable purees that are going to go along with the steak dinner that I prepared back in October during my birthday. Now this is going to be a 3-part series. I'm going to show you the purees today. Next week I'm going to show you how to do the grilled lobster, and then we're going to finish it off with the steak. Now I wanted to do this in different sections because these 3 different things can actually go along with anything just about, right? Roasted garlic and cauliflower puree I'm going to show you today is like almost like a mashed potato. Okay, this would be perfect for you guys that are on that keto diet. Now this roasted red bell pepper puree goes awesome with other vegetables, seafood, different things like that. Now I took these 2 ideas, put them together with this wonderful steak dinner, and I'm going to show you the whole process and how to get there. And what I was thinking is, with all the nonsense that's going on in the world today, we can't really get out like we used to. Go out to dinner. Some places you can't even go eat inside. I know that they've been lifting a few restrictions here and there, but it doesn't look too promising here coming up in the near future. So what I wanted to do is, let's say you have this special someone that you want to impress. Maybe it's an anniversary. Maybe it's a birthday. Maybe it's just a date. Maybe it's just that somebody that you really want, like I said, to impress with a nice candlelit dinner at home. I'm going to show you how to make a nice fancy steak and lobster dinner. It's going to take 3 videos to get there. So let's cut to the chase. Let's start with these purees. Let's get to the kitchen and I'll show you what's going on. All right, so basically we're going to start off by prepping our cauliflower. All right, I'm just going to cut the root off here. We're going to get rid of the green. We're going to cut this down into manageable chunks, okay? I'm going to end up putting this into a saucepan here in a little bit. And I want to be able to cook this down in the shortest amount of time. So I'm going to cut it down into small little chunks like you see here. I'm going to put this into a bowl. We're going to set it aside, and then we're going to prep our garlic. All right. Now with the garlic, super simple. Got a little piece of foil here. I'm going to put the whole bulb of garlic on there. I'm not going to cut it or anything. I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil and some salt to this. Then we're going to wrap it up. And I'm actually going to put mine on the grill because I'm grilling the lobster, I'm grilling the steak. So since we already have the grill up and running, this is where the garlic's going to go. Now you can put this in your oven if you like and roast it for about an hour at 350 degrees. It'll get that garlic nice and soft. You'll see here in a little while when we pull it off the grill. But I'm going to go ahead and grill mine. Same thing for about an hour or so. And then we'll come back and take a look at it when it's done. Alright, so in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and cook our cauliflower. Now I'm going to start off with a saucepan, heat it up to a medium-high heat. I'm going to add a tablespoon of olive oil in there. Then I'm also going to throw in a tablespoon of butter. Now once this butter melts down, what we're going to do is add about 1 cup of chopped yellow onion. This was basically a half of a yellow onion that I chopped up. And we're just going to go ahead and saute this for about 5 minutes until, you know, the onions start to become translucent and get a little soft here. And then we're going to add the cauliflower. All right. Now, once we get the cauliflower in there, I'm going to add about 2 cups of chicken stock. Okay. And then 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. The whipping cream is going to make this all nice and silky smooth and delicious. And then what we're going to do is set this to a simmer once we mix it up, and then let that simmer for about 20 minutes or so. You want this to reduce by half. You want that cauliflower to get so soft that you can actually break it apart with that spoon, okay? All right, so now we're gonna get our garlic going here. It's been an hour. We pulled it off the grill. It is still really hot. Be careful. I should probably be wearing gloves, but I'm not. And I'm gonna pay for it, so it's just me. So peel the garlic, get you a clove or two off of there. We're gonna take a little small bowl. We're going to basically just squeeze the garlic right out of the shell into this little bowl, okay? Yes, it looks kind of nasty. There's a million things you can kind of come up with how this looks, but this is the process. Super good. All right, once you get down to the middle of the bulb, you're able just to break, squeeze a few cloves at a time, and it makes it much easier. All right, so now that we have that set to the side, we're going to go ahead and put our cauliflower into a blender. Be careful not to make a mess like I'm doing. All right. So just get your cauliflower in there, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just give it a couple of pulses. We're going to get it going, right? And then we're going to come in and put the garlic in there, and I'm going to put about 3 teaspoons of kosher salt, all right? 3 nice pinches of salt. And I'm also going to put in about a teaspoon or 2 of white pepper. Okay, if you don't have white pepper, that's fine. Just use black pepper. It works just the same. I'm just trying to keep, this consistent and not have all the black flakes in there. But it's perfectly fine if you use black pepper, okay? Now, let's go ahead and give it a couple of pulses. And we're going to run this baby on high until it comes out nice and silky smooth, as you're going to be able to see here, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pour this into a bowl. And then we'll give it a little taste. Make sure it's seasoned well. If you need more seasoning, go ahead. But this is what it should look like. It almost looks like a super smooth mashed potato, right? This is the consistency that you want out of it. All right, so now that we have what we want, we're going to go ahead and start working on the red bell pepper puree. Yes, that is my garlic sitting there. I was doing this all at the same time, but I want to show you guys how it's done in steps, okay? So we're going to place our bell pepper right over the coals. We want to give it a nice char, okay, on all sides of the bell pepper. It's going to start looking like this right here. Make sure you keep an eye on it. Don't step away for too long. You want this nice char marks on here, this black part of the skin, and the bell pepper will soften up some, but you don't want to overdo it, okay? So once you get it to look like that on all sides, we'll go ahead and bring it in the house, and we're going to put it in a Ziploc bag, okay? And what this is going to do is steam it basically, and it's going to make it super easy to peel here in a little bit. Okay, so basically we're going to put it in this bag, we're going to seal it up, and we're just going to set it to the side for about 15 minutes. That's about all you need, okay? Not only does it steam it and make it easier to peel, it's also going to let it cool off a little bit so you can actually handle the bell pepper. All right, excuse the lighting here, one of my lights went out. And we just kept rolling because that's what we do on this channel. We just keep it real. All right. So look, as you can see here, man, the skin peels off super, super easy. Okay. That's why we go through the process that we want to go through. And then keeping the skin on is not going to really help with the puree. It's not going to make it silky and smooth like we wanted. You're going to have all these little chunks of skin, and it's going to be a little bit tough. We don't want that. So that's why we're doing it this way. Plus charring it's going to give us a nice little smoky flavor to it, okay? So now once we have them peeled, we're going to chop the tops off because we don't need those. And then I'm going to cut these bell peppers in half, and we're going to clean out all the insides, the seeds and everything, okay? And once we do that, we'll be ready to go ahead and start cooking down everything else and make this puree. All right, so I got a saucepan heated up to a medium-high heat. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil in there. Okay, now this is where I'm going to use the other half of that yellow onion. So I got about a cup of chopped yellow onion and about 3 cloves of garlic just crushed that I put in there. We're going to saute it for about 3 to 5 minutes or so, and then we'll add our bell pepper, and then I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken stock. All right, we're going to make sure this is all well incorporated and mixed. We're going to bring this down to a simmer. We're going to let it simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes until you get to where you've reduced it down to about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of liquid. All right, as you see here. Scrape the bottom. We're going to go ahead and transfer this to the blender. Be careful, it's still hot. Make sure you get all of that onion and garlic chunks, make sure you get it all into the blender. Don't waste anything. We're going to pulse it a couple times, and then we're going to run it on high for about 30 seconds or so. And then once we do that, what we'll do is we'll come in and we will season it. All right, I'm gonna add about 3 teaspoons of kosher salt here, and then I add about 1 to 2 teaspoons of white pepper. Like I said before, if you don't have white pepper, go ahead and use black pepper. It's totally fine. But once we season it, we'll throw the lid back on here. We're gonna go ahead and pulse it a couple times again, and then we'll run this sucker on high for about 60 seconds or so until it gets nice and smooth. All right, now from here, what I'm gonna do is transfer it to one of these little squeeze bottles. All right, and now the consistency should look almost like ketchup, right? Maybe just a little thinner. But this way, it holds its shape, it looks good. We can make little, decorations, however you want to do with it, right? And we're not going to use all of it. That's why I put it in a squeeze bottle. You could throw this in the fridge. It'll last for probably up to a week or so. Super good over some grilled vegetables, over some kind of seafood, just about anything for that matter. I mean, just kind of experiment with it, see what you like it on. What we're going to do right now is plate up. I want to show you how this all kind of comes together. And we're going to start off with our cauliflower puree. And then I'm just going to run my spoon through this right here to kind of make it look fancy. And it also gives me something to set these little strips of ribeye steak on. All right, so we're going to go ahead and lay down a few strips of steak. And then we're going to move on and put down this wonderfully grilled lobster. That will be the next video. I'll show you how to make that lobster super, super good. And then what I did was I made some carrots and potatoes. Now for those of you that are on that keto diet or whatever, skip the potato. Go ahead and use a vegetable or something. I also made a red wine reduction sauce for the steak that I'll show you when we do the steak video. And now I'm going to lay down the red bell pepper puree. All right. Now when you plate up, it's subjective. Be creative, do your own thing. I'm just showing you guys an example right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of cauliflower puree down as well, just to make it look fancy. And this is our end result. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Roasted garlic and cauliflower puree, along with the roasted red bell pepper puree. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought. And look, next week we'll do the grilled lobster. You talk about delicious. I've done this grilled lobster multiple times before, and then I decided to pair it with this dinner with this steak. Unbelievable. Look, if you want to make sure you catch that video, click that subscription button, that notification bell, and while you're here, catch one of the other videos on the channel, and I'll see you there.